Pentagon to send military advisors and air defense systems to Israel, Israel-Hamas war, The Guardian. Skip to main content, skip to navigation, skip to navigation. US edition, UK edition, Australia edition, International edition, Europe edition, World, Europe, US, Americas, Asia, Australia, Middle East, Africa, Inequality, Global Development, Pentagon to send military advisors and air defense systems to Israel. Assistance comes ahead of Israel's anticipated ground assault into Gaza, but advisors will not engage in fighting, says U.S. official. The Pentagon is sending military advisors and sophisticated air defense systems to Israel ahead of an anticipated ground assault into Gaza by Israel's military. One of the officers leading the assistance is Marine Corps Lieutenant General James Glynn, who previously helped lead Special Operations Forces against the Islamic State and served a high-profile role during intense combat in Fallujah, one of the bloodiest and most controversial centers of battle for U.S. forces during the war in Iraq. Glynn will also be advising on how to mitigate civilian casualties during urban warfare, a U.S. official told the Associated Press, on condition of anonymity. Israel is preparing a large-scale ground operation in an environment in which Hamas militants based in Gaza have had years to prepare tunnel networks and set traps throughout northern Gaza's dense urban blocks. Glynn and the other military officers who are advising Israel have experience that is appropriate to the sorts of operations that Israel is conducting, the National Security Council spokesman, John Kirby, said on Monday in a briefing at the White House. The U.S. advisors will not be engaged in any fighting, the U.S. official said, adding that Glynn will also be offering guidance on mitigating civilian casualties during urban warfare. The military team is one of many fast-moving pieces the Pentagon is getting in place to try to prevent the already intense conflict between Israel and Hamas from becoming a wider war. It also is trying to protect U.S. personnel, who in the last few days have come under repeated attacks in Iraq and Syria, chiefly as a result of armed drones, that the Pentagon has said were probably endorsed by Iran. Kirby said Iran was, in some cases, actively facilitating these attacks and spurring on others who may want to exploit the conflict for their own good, or for that of Iran. We know that Iran's goal is to maintain some level of deniability here. But we're not going to allow them to do that. On Monday, the U.S. military garrison at Al-Tanf, Syria, came under attack again, this time by 2 drones. Last Thursday, the U.S. destroyer USS Carney shot down 4 land attack cruise missiles launched from Yemen that the Pentagon has said were potentially headed towards Israel. Skip past newsletter promotion. Sign up to First Thing. Free daily newsletter. Our U.S. morning briefing breaks down the key stories of the day, telling you what's happening and why it matters. Privacy notice. Newsletters may contain info about charities, online ads, and content funded by outside parties. For more information, see our privacy policy. We use Google reCAPTCHA to protect our website, and the Google privacy policy and terms of service apply. After newsletter promotion. Over the weekend, the Pentagon announced it was sending multiple Patriot missile defense system battalions and a terminal high-altitude area defense system to the Middle East, as well as repositioning the U.S. aircraft carrier Eisenhower-led strike group to the U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, area of responsibility. Florida-based CENTCOM has authority over U.S. forces in the Middle East and in Western Central Asia. The ship had previously been en route to the Eastern Mediterranean. The shift means that the Navy will have a carrier strike group off the shore of Israel, the Ford Carrier Strike Group, and another, the Eisenhower, potentially maneuvered to defend U.S. forces and Israel from the Red Sea or the Gulf of Oman. We're going to continue to do what we need to do to protect and safeguard our forces and take all necessary measures, the official said. No one wants to see a wider regional conflict. But we will not hesitate to protect our forces. The Associated Press contributed reporting. Explore more on these topics. Israel-Hamas war. U.S. military. Israel. News. Most viewed. World. Europe. U.S. Americas. Asia. Australia. Middle East. Africa. Inequality. Global development. News. Opinion. Sport. Culture. Lifestyle. Sign up for our email. About us. Help. Complaints and corrections. Secure drop. Work for us. Privacy policy. Cookie policy. Terms and conditions. Contact us. All topics. All writers. Digital newspaper archive. Facebook. YouTube. Instagram. LinkedIn. Twitter. Newsletters. Advertise with us. Guardian Labs. Search jobs.